y'all? This is your girl Megan. If you are already a subscriber, then welcome back. Welcome home. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. I love you. If this is your first time on this channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and mash that subscribe button. So, without further ado, I decided to wear some cherry red hair for my Aquarians out there, because y'all just some electric ass motherfuckers. And I just felt real electric, very spicy today. So I'm paying homage. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, Aquarians, you guys are represented by the water bearer. There's a guy who's holding basically a bucket of water. He's pouring it into the earth. Side note, everything in astrology, when it comes to the symbols, it represents something. So in this case, the water that the water bearer is pouring from the urn into the earth is knowledge, wisdom. The earth represents other people, the world. So what does this mean? This means basically, Aquarians, you guys are just some wise people, naturally. Much like Sagittarius, Aquarians are gifted with the ability to naturally sense the collective consciousness on the planet. And that's why you guys were sent here, to enlighten and increase the consciousness of everybody on Earth. That's also why it's not uncommon that, Aquarians are naturally leaders and just rebellious by nature. Let's start with your ruling planets. Your ruling planets are Saturn, which is the same ruling planet as Capricorn. We'll talk about that later. And also Uranus. Now, Uranus is the planet of rebellion. It's the planet of individuality, sudden change, all that good stuff. While, as you might have known from my previous video, Saturn represents sternness, hardships, delays, hard work, those kind of things. So with that being said, Aquarius is kind of funny because in a way they take that sternness, that rigidness from Saturn, and they apply it to the Uranus energy, which could manifest as someone who is just simply committed and headstrong about being different. Those people who are just super non-conformist, that's Aquarian. Aquarius is non-conformist energy. These make rebels, people who go against the grain of what natural societal expectations are, people who are equipped with their own personal soul compass and who aren't afraid to navigate from that. People who march to the beat of their own drum naturally, And it's funny how I feel like a lot of Aquarians, from my experience, teeter between, balancing out these Saturn and Uranus type energies. Because on a negative side, Aquarius can cling too closely to that Saturn perspective and be a little bit too headstrong about, their individuality and standing out. And this can manifest as Aquarians being very kind of like they look down on people who don't really think the way that they do, people who are very condescending, very stoic, very just not unapproachable, kind of douchebags who are like, yeah, I'm going to rebel for the sake of rebellion. That's where the term rebel without a cause, I would suspect, comes from. That could be a negative manifestation of the Aquarian energy. But Aquarians, you guys are very, 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 very different. And you're okay with being different. And with you guys also being an air sign, you guys are very expressive, like most air signs. Expressive, very communicative, very open, and as a result, you have two types of Aquarians that I've noticed from my personal experience. One Aquarius who is very much a people person, but from a distance, if that makes sense. They love people. They have a very charitable heart, very humanitarian kind of heart. They care about others, but they don't necessarily like the spotlight or just the everyday humdrum of being surrounded by people and doing that type of work. You know, they prefer to work behind the scenes and help other people in that manner. Then, on the other hand, you have the Aquarius who likes to work a crowd. You know, they enjoy heated debates. They enjoy being in the middle. They're mixy. They can be very mixy. That's that air element. But because they're also fixed air, taking it back to that Saturn energy, these people tend to be very unmoved in their stances and in their perspectives. So, and this, if you're a more balanced, a more mature Aquarian, this could manifest positively in your life. And if you're a little bit more immature or a younger Aquarian, this could just come off as you just shaking shit up, shaking the table just to do it. You know what I'm saying? But both types of Aquarians share that common humanitarian, humanist perspective. You guys love people. You love bettering other people, fighting for causes. Now, another negative sign of Aquarius is, you guys, this is the sign of perversion. So don't take this the wrong way, but it just is what it is. Of course, I'm not saying every Aquarius is a pervert, but perversions can be found anywhere. However, in astrology, Aquarius is the sign of perversion. And also, Aquarians can be a bit detached, a bit too detached. They can come off as aloof. You know, I'm going to need you guys to loosen up, brighten up a little bit, because as a result, this could cause other people to not really know where they stand with you. And I've also found that Aquarians value collective, like, friendships over personal relationships, even intimate relationships, like one-on-one as well. So whenever they're out of their comfort zone, you guys can definitely, you know, tap into that aloofness, tap into that stoic-like nature, that nature that's just hard to read. You guys can be very emotionally unavailable. Side note, fun fact, my daughter's father is an Aquarius cusp, and it wasn't fun. Our relationship was not fun. You guys hate to be limited. You hate to be constrained. And anytime you feel like somebody's boxing you in, you gonna break out that motherfucker. And I love that shit. I love it. And like air signs typically do, you place a lot of value on mental stimulation. So these are also people who can't just get with anybody. You know, if you want to keep the mind of an Aquarian, you have to be bringing something to the table mentally, because they get turned off very quickly if you don't have anything up here, if you're not bringing any new and exciting ideas. Aquarians are also, because they're ruled by Uranus, remember, the rebellious planet, they're also known for having unconventional relationships. So these are people who would not be opposed to being in an open marriage, people who are swingers, you know, who structure their lives around or outside the parameters of what society deems as normal behavior. And that's what makes Aquarius, that's what makes you guys so cool. Now, the shadow side is that you guys can also go too far, you know, like I said, that being rebellious just for rebellion's sake, that shock value. A famous Aquarian that fits the shadow side of Aquarians to me is Kevin Gates. So if you guys remember back in 2014 or whenever this nigga came out, he was the first person to come out and admit that he eats booty. Now, in today's society where everybody is eating the booty like groceries or they're announcing it, it's hard to imagine that there was a time when guys weren't even talking about eating the kitty. You know what I'm saying? So when Kevin Gates just hopped over the moon and started proclaiming that he eats booty, you know, people were shocked, initially appalled. You had a lot of people saying, "What? Like, that's nasty. Why he saying that?" Now, granted, I'm aware people have been doing this for years. I'm pretty sure Eat a Booty Gang has been around for centuries. However, he was a trailblazer in a weird kind of way, because he was the first rapper, first guy to just sit up here in public and just admit, like, point blank, I eat butt and I like it and I love it. You know, people didn't know how to take that. But what happened after that was, as time evolved, it became so normalized into society. So he fits that bill of being just different. And I do feel like Kevin Gates just does things to shake shit up just to get a reaction out of people. But he also went on to talk about his other sexual interest in the bedroom. Like, you know, I should be able to suck my woman's toes and drink her piss. Like, okay, which fits back into that perversion kind of characteristic of, you know, many shadow Aquarians have. Once again, not all y'all, but shadow Aquarians. Aquarians who are more in tune with their lower nature. And y'all also hate when people disagree with y'all. Okay, and that goes back to just being very willfully rebellious. You want to be the person to expose other people to situations. I find that most Aquarians don't do well in the student seat, which is kind of weird because you have to be a student before you're a teacher. So, yeah. But overall, I love Aquarians. You guys are bomb as fuck. You're always fighting for a good cause. You're original, independent, and amazing listeners, okay? Especially once their brain is activated, they just are intense. You guys are just hooked into what people are talking about. I love having conversations with Aquarians because you guys literally, I just feel so special because you hang on to my every word. And I like an audience. I live for a good audience. But you guys have to learn that it's okay to compromise. There's nothing wrong with compromising sometimes. Nobody says you have to fit into a box, right? But having discernment is very important. Knowing when to hold, when to fold, when to give, when to take will make your life a lot much easier, you know? That aggression that you guys tend to have, especially when you feel like somebody is disagreeing with you or isn't hearing you, it's okay. Relax. Take some time. Go back into yourself. Spend some alone time. You know what I'm saying? Recharge yourself. That's another thing about Aquarians. You guys, as energetic and outgoing and charming and electrifying as you are, you guys also value, you know, your introspection kind of time. You know, you like to be alone. You like to recharge. So these people could definitely be ambiverts. You know, that when you're an extrovert sometimes and an introvert other times, you know. So it's okay. It's always okay to just go back into your shell and do some self-care and spend some time with yourself. You guys can really save the planet. And I slick feel like that's what y'all were here to do. You know, even the ones who aren't really as spiritual, no matter what you believe in, no matter what your race, your creed are, Aquarians are just naturally revolutionary people. And I love that about y'all. You guys can be very great with technology, gadgets. It's not uncommon for an Aquarius to be a gamer, an IT tech person, somebody who's very plugged into the internet, even social media. Aquarians love social media. Aquarius rules the 11th house in the birth chart, which literally can represent social media. You guys, y'all know you probably on Facebook right now. Or Twitter. Or IG. But yeah, that's all I have on Aquarians for now. So once again, I love you guys. Make sure you love yourselves, love others. And until next time,